It's been reported that actress Kate Winslet and her director husband Sam Mendes have split up after 7 years. They've released a statement saying the split is entirely amicable. It's reported that a source close to Mendes has allegedly shed some light on the breakup. They claim that he became bored working on his latest theatrical project and he took that boredom home with him, and that led to the spark being taken out of their marriage. Now, obviously, we don't know if that's true, but how do we keep boredom at bay in our own lives? You've got a pretty low boredom threshold, haven't you, Denise?
Oh, is it me first?
Yes, please.
Sorry, I was so bored with that instruction.
Oh, you're funny.
No, I do have a very low boredom threshold, and to the point that I just annoy myself with it. I mean, on the odd occasion that I'm doing, say, household chores, I find myself vacuuming, but then I think of something else I've got to do, and rather than just finish the vacuuming, I rush off and do that other thing, and my mind's sort of scattered all over the place. So it's really, and I find it very, you know, people say about keeping the relationship I find all that very difficult, because I think that I'm always looking for the grass to be greener in all areas of my life, and it's got me into some problems.
But don't you think that there's no such thing as being bored? You could just be a boring person.
Yes, there is. But that's why I started drinking again, because all my friends were boring.
Yeah, but you're very boring when you drink.
Of course I am, but I'm not bored.
So it's a selfish boredom.
It's selfish boredom.
But I do get that boredom and monotony and tedium are different things, but when children say, I'm bored, it's like a drug now that you have to fill in every single second of their lives. It's like winding them up and winding them up so that they can't be on their own. They have to have outside stimulus all the time. And that's frightening, actually, because the more you feed that, supposedly, I'm bored, when it stops, they're lost.
And also being bored isn't just being inactive. I mean, my friends will tell you, well, you know that naturally I'm quite a lazy person, so I actually could do 3 days in bed under a duvet reading and watching television because I am not bored at that moment. So it's not like I don't just sometimes like inactivity in my life, because sometimes it's so chaotic.
Yeah, but if you're in a relationship and you have a boring job, now by boring I would have thought basically, you know, people do have to tedium. We've all done things that you have to do day in, day out. When you take that home with you and take it out on your other half, in a sense you can understand it, but there is a point where you've got to then say to your other half, listen, I'm fed up with that, but I'm not fed up with you, you know, and replace that boredom.
But I think all of us probably chose this industry as well because you're constantly moving and being stimulated.
Well, Coleen, if I can ask you, you know what, you and Ray, obviously, you've been married for how many years now? 4 years, something like that. I mean, you've been together for a wee while. How do you keep the boredom out of your marriage? How do you keep things fresh?
I don't know, Andrea, how do you?
I don't know.
No.
I was asking for notes.
I think it is very difficult when you're both leading, at certain times, completely separate lives. And, of course, you know, I'm down here and I'm with all of you, and, you know, I'm just me. When I'm here, I haven't got the household chores or the kids or whatever. And so I get home all full of it. And, of course, he's been doing the, you know, proper jobs at home and all of that. And sometimes there is that issue of, well, I'm glad you're having a good time because I'm bored out my head. And I think you have to be very aware of that and very careful of that. But he's pretty good because he's got the love of his life, which is his guitar. So as long as he's
I thought you were going to say Kira.
No, it's guitar, Kira, and I come after the 2 Cocker Spaniels somewhere. But, you know, so he's got a hobby as such, as well as his career. He's got that hobby, so he can keep it. But I find that a lot of people that go, I'm bored, are actually bored in their own company, which I find really strange, because I'm not bored in my own company. If I've got days at home and, you know, the boys aren't there, Kira's at school, and I'm hanging around, I'm absolutely fine with that. But I get more bored in our industry, like if I was in something that was long running, I get very bored. You know, like 8 shows a week type show.
You can also be unrealistic about your relationship as well, because obviously I've just read this really Tony Parsons novel, which was just fantastic, which is about that this guy is always seeking happiness because he's always looking for the greener grass, because obviously in any relationship it's not going to be that
but that's what I'm saying. But there is a point where you have to come to be realistic, don't you, and say life isn't like that, so there's no good going around being bored all the time. Get over yourselves, get out there and get on with it, basically.
Okay,
Denise.
which is what we're going to do now. Hopefully